What's up guys, my name is Brian and this is my Revival Stash giveaway video. My first step was to come up with some inspiration and take a drive down to my buddy's shop. The shop is full of Ducatis and other bikes, so I knew to come up with something. I've been there before, but never kept track of what bikes were there. I was lucky considering they actually had two 900 Super Sports. One is stock trim, and one that had been modified a little. Those were the first two bikes I checked out, of course. Looking them both over, I realized the fairings just aren't for me. Underneath them was an air-cooled motor and trellis frame, neither of which looked bad in stock form. Removing the fairing and tail section was a much needed improvement that was simple, but also meant I had to figure out something else for the tail section. I like the tail on the modified bike, but I want to do something different that made it my own. One of my favorite bikes here was the Ducati Desmo. Obviously some inspiration would be taken from it. Like other bikes, I believe the exhaust will be one of the main focuses that will set it apart from others. This gives me an opportunity to showcase my fabrication skills. The number one point to make about the bike I'll build is that it'll stay practical. Its primary focus is to be ridden and thrashed on. After checking out everything in the garage, I decided to make a SolidWorks model of the bike and rough out the overall look. Also thanks to GrabCAD user of Lucas Vonderberg for a stock model, I was able to start with this assembly and modify as I went along. The tail was the first thing I tackled. After many tweaks and iterations, this is what I came up with. I wanted to make it smaller appearing and a little bit minimalistic to show off the frame and engine. I was worried about fitting the exhaust underneath the tail, but I think it'll work out nicely there. There seems to be plenty of room around the tire and suspension. The front didn't need much after the fairing was removed. Maybe a set of gauges and some wires and cables cleaned up. The only other things I think it needed was a Revival Secret LED headlight and some Moto Gadget bar end blinkers. I'm still not sure on the color, but for now I made this brown the placeholder. I do know, however, that I don't want a typical color scheme for this bike, like red, yellow, or white. If I did choose a color like this, it would go great with a white and orange accent on it, and would look even better with a chrome frame. No matter what though, any color I put on the bike in SolidWorks doesn't look as good as it would in person. If I were going to make a V2 of this bike one day, I'd probably rewire the whole thing with an M unit and their handlebar controls, and probably some spoke wheels to replace the stock wheels. So a little bit more about me. I'm an engineer with aspirations to run my own shop one day. A lot of my experience is from being on my Baja team during college. That's where I picked up machining and learned a lot about motorsport in general. Our team got to build the car and then travel across the country to races and compete. A project I recently finished is my CB550, which was a bike that was hacked up and needed a lot of cleanup. My other project is a 72 Nova, which is really being built from the ground up. It needed a new floor, firewall, cowl, trunk, rockers, and roof. And now it's at the point where it should be on wheels soon, and all the metalwork is mostly done. Thanks to Revival for doing this giveaway series again, and thanks to you for your consideration and checking out my ideas. I look forward to getting to work on this bike and turn it into something cool. I appreciate your vote for me, and I'll see you guys later.